BXB. It's in the game!
Oh yes, this is the good stuff. After spending most of my time reviewing the so-called games that Ben gets from Keymailer, which is basically one rung up the ladder from finding your Steam keys scrawled as mirror writing on the walls of a haunted house, this is a game I got by paying my own actual money for. You know, like a normal person with an actual job. Oh, it was awful. I felt so common. Anyway, that was on Saturday morning, and writing this voiceover on Monday night, I've already played it for pretty much 3 days solid. So it won't surprise you to learn that, yeah, I'm pretty fond of this game. But if it was just a case of Adam loves a management game, I probably wouldn't bother reviewing it. I mean, if you ever wonder what my opinion is of a game that includes both a research tree and a screen where you can look at graphs, you can probably just save yourself time by googling for the phrase pig in shit. But Big Pharma actually surprised me. I was expecting a relatively straightforward management game with a bit of satire chucked into the mix, some light humour, you know, a sort of theme hospital only with more supply and demand graphs. But what I actually got was a surprisingly intensive mathematical and spatial puzzle game, which initially seemed to be playing its theme with an entirely straight bat. The gameplay works like this. You choose a wall hatch and you choose an ingredient for it to cough up into your factory, and then you construct an assembly line out of these arithmetic machines. Now each machine adds or subtracts from your product's concentration number, and you want to manipulate this value until it's inside the range that makes it suddenly start curing warts or working as an antidepressant, and then you bung it through a pill maker and you send it out the other side ready to be sold. It sounds simple. Well, maybe that ingredient also does nasty stuff too, like causes headaches. And so now you need to either just live with that side effect in the final product, or find a concentration level where you are inside the good range and outside the bad. Now some of these ingredient effects are permanent and others can be removed by passing the ingredient through the right type of math machine when its concentration is just at the right level, but sometimes doing this changes the effect instead, and instead your cough medicine becomes an antibiotic. Sometimes you need to mix ingredients together in special machines to create hybrid products, and sometimes you need to add catalyst effects that need to be present or upgrades won't occur, and oh god, the numbers, they're eating my brain! Oh, and finally, even once you've cracked the maths, you've also got to solve the spatial puzzle of how you actually fit all those actions together. I mean, without needing to run 100 miles of conveyor belts just to get all the input and output ports on the machines to connect up. You get this bit wrong, and you end up with a drug that certainly works, but is ruinously expensive to actually manufacture. Not to mention, you're probably going to want to make other drugs in your factory, and you can end up really hating the you of 20 minutes ago who decided to put a stupid condenser right where you need your next ionizer to be. The puzzle game element really took me by surprise when I started to play this game. It's got genuine teeth, and there's a huge satisfaction to be had when you put together an assembly line that you know is getting the job done in the minimum number of steps, because you know this means the end product is being manufactured as cheaply as it's possible to make it. Oh, efficiency. Also, is it just me or is the music in this game like deliberately evoking those educational TV shows we used to watch at school in the 80s that always had this footage of like all assembly lines and how they worked? Anyway, look at this. Look at all this maximised utility. I really like management games. Anyway, what was I doing? Oh yeah, that's right, a game review. So the other thing that surprised me about Big Pharma was that it didn't seem to be particularly satirical. This was a lovely game where you ran a lovely pharmaceutical company and you made lovely pills that did lovely things. And so once I got the hang of the puzzle side of the game, I sat at my machine and I diligently built myself a masterpiece. A 15 machine monster of an assembly line that snaked all around my factory and meticulously manipulated a single ingredient until at the very end out popped a little pill perfectly maximised that cured 100% of stomach ulcers and had absolutely no side effects.
Oh, I've done it. I'm the best. I am king of drugs. I am lord of the pharmacological arts. Look upon my wonders and despair. Oh. Oh.
So it turns out my rival company had also made a stomach ulcer pill, and they hadn't bothered to strip the side effects or spend any time or effort finding its maximum strength concentration, but they were still outselling me. They were beating me with an inferior product that barely worked and just occasionally made people poo themselves. And they were doing it by selling it cheap and marketing the crap out of it, alongside some suspiciously good clinical trials data. Oh, think I found the satire after all then. Well, it's not so much satire as just a sort of miserably bracing cold shower of reality being blasted into the face of your naive optimism. I mean, you can pour all your money into perfecting a life-changing cure, but the costs of developing premium products force you to charge a premium price. And maybe you'd make more money selling something worse, but also cheaper. If you do want to get the word out about your wonder drug, you will need to engage in the dark arts of marketing and lobbying. And so you grease a palm here, you lose a trial result there. I mean, it's all to the benefit of humanity in the end, right? Sure, your cancer medication sometimes sends people blind, but by keeping the costs down, you make it affordable for so many more people. And anyway, haven't they heard about your new anti-blindness cream? It's priced to move, and despite the rumours, causes hardly any cancer. I mean, almost none at all. Anyway, you've got dinner with the head of the FSA in an hour, so I won't keep you. I was just admiring your fancy new gold-plated Ferrari. Is that the one with the new cash dispenser and the weeping face targeting systems? Very nice. The way the game eases you down your own personal moral descent is probably my favourite thing about Big Pharma. I mean, yes, this game deals with the problems of the pharmaceutical industry, but it also addresses why they exist and gives you a sense of the forces at work in that market. If you'll permit me to get just a little bit wanky for a minute, in the end I felt like this game functioned more as a critique of capitalism in general than any particular industry. Big Pharma is a world where inferior products can lock down a marketplace through aggressive advertising campaigns. It's a world where who you know is often as useful as what you know. A world where large companies can use the patent process to block cheaper versions of their product from ever reaching sale, creating themselves an instant monopoly. Now, does any of that sound familiar? I don't know what this picture's doing here. Oh well, moving on. Best of all, Big Pharma is a thought-provoking experience without ever being particularly preachy, and that's mainly because the actual game you are playing during the lecture is just so incredibly satisfying. This is a great puzzle game, tied to a really good management game, and it's got a strong message that's softly spoken. I mean really, how could I not give this game 5 stars?
BXB. It's in the game.